Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 30 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And I'm back, aka Sarah.
Oh, we didn't go over this name, but I think I can do it. This episode is sponsored by Savannah Murphy.
Good job.
Yay!
Thank you,
Jazzy.
Savannah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So today we will be discussing Chapter 7 of Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets, Mudbloods and Murmurs.
Murmurs.
So make sure you have read the chapter and you're ready to dive into the details. Before we begin, Megan has weekly profit news. Megan!
That was a lot.
Yeah.
So I have 2 weekly profits this week. The first one I was super excited about because I had never seen this until today. It was like new news. They are making Harry Potter wands that let you play a magic version of laser tag.
I saw that.
So you can play laser tag with wands. And it like has a spells list with like different level of difficulty and like which one has more oomph to it when you hit somebody. Yeah.
Can you avada someone?
Oh.
You can incendio.
I guess I could
You
click
can
on this and
do
look at it.
Locomotor, Wingardium Leviosa,
Never heard of it.
Finite Incantatum, Mimble Wimble. You want to know what's really cool is these are all the spells pretty much from the Wizarding World in Orlando, and the motions are the same motions that you
Yeah.
That's
do in
awesome.
Diagon Alley.
That's really cool.
That's real cool.
It's saying inside each wand, which will be available later this year for $25 only.
Oh, that's not bad.
In Harry, Dumbledore, and Voldemort designs is a motion sensor similar to what you'll find in smartphones and video game controllers.
How many designs? Only 3?
Yeah, right now.
What? Wait. Lightning bolt. What one will you get?
Probably Dumbledore's.
Dumbledore, I think.
I like the shape
go
of his
Harry.
wand.
I was gonna say Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. My thing is, it wouldn't be really cool if there was 4 designs. We could each get a different one.
would be
we
cool.
Is
could,
it the
like,
Elder Wand or is
all
it
be-
his OG wand?
It says here, don't get too excited about pretending to finally eliminate your enemies with the flick of a wrist because Avada Kedavra, the unforgivable killing curse, isn't included. These are all kid-friendly conjurings.
Yeah, but I bet you could still use the wand in a physical way to kill someone.
Oh my gosh.
There are ways around spells, my friend.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I thought that was really cool and interesting, and we should totally check that out when they come out later this
Totally
year.
buy them.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
I wish.
saying, yeah.
I wish there were 4 different ones so we
I
could
know.
each have our own
Well,
wand.
maybe by the time they come out, they'll add another design.
Yeah.
What's the launch date for that?
Doesn't
Is there?
say.
No.
It just said later this year. Probably December for Christmas.
Probably.
Not December. It'll probably be like.
Maybe it's
October.
September.
But there's like little lights on the side of the wand, so it tells you if you did the motion correctly and what spell it's casting.
Are they battery powered or
I would think so.
okay or
Man,
rechargeable?
It's gonna be a lot of double A's, man.
Could be.
Well, I
AAA.
don't know. They are really switching to just like rechargeable everything lately,
Yeah.
so it might be.
Dude, can you imagine how much that would have saved me growing up playing my Game Boy?
Oh, man.
4 double A batteries.
Yeah.
My parents were not pleased.
I didn't have a
Yeah.
Game Boy when I
And
grew
then
up.
if you plugged in the little light so you could play it at night.
Oh, that drained it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other news that I wanted to share is that Lego announced new Harry Potter sets coming this year. And the first one that's coming out is the Hogwarts Great Hall. Now, I have wanted these Lego sets.
I like that you're reading
for
this to me.
forever. I am. I'm just looking at Sarah.
Yeah, you are.
In the end.
And
They are a pretty stinking penny.
How much are
well,
they?
yeah.
They're like over $100. Well,
But if you want to go and get the older ones,
They'll probably be cheaper.
no,
Are
they're
they?
like multiple
darling.
hundreds
Oh, really?
of dollars.
I don't do Legos, so.
It's crazy because I've wanted. It says here Hogwarts Great Hall will be available to order at retail and at shop.lego.com on August 1st for $99. That's a steal because Hogwarts Castle, like the old one, it's like $400 on eBay or Amazon.
I'm gonna bring it up.
It's crazy. And like they have a ton of sets. They have Diagon Alley, Hagrid's Hut. They're all over $100.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Oh, but
So
are they
it's
all
exciting.
resale though? The old ones?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna be like, oh, it's $50. No, that's a puzzle. That's a puzzle,
That's a
Tiffany.
puzzle.
So I thought that.
Holy, you can get it prime for $629.
Shut the front door.
Discontinued by manufacturer. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the castle. Somebody give me that money.
Crazy, yo.
Yeah.
right.
Oh man.
That's the weekly profit.
Tiffany.
It's time for the recap.
All right, so last episode, Meg and I being Katie, discussed our experience at the 2018 celebration of Harry Potter down in Orlando. So if you want to hear us geek out for over an hour about props, panels, cosplays, and a bunch more, go ahead and check it out. We've already convinced a few listeners, I think, to join us in 2019.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think a lot of people didn't really understand what it was.
Yeah.
Serious?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
One example, I know Regine, she knew she wanted to go, but she couldn't explain it properly to her wife to like get her to agree to be like, yeah, let's go. So she was like, I'm making you listen to this episode. And yeah, it's, when you hear, oh, it's Celebration of Harry Potter, like, who knows what that is? Honestly, Universal doesn't really do a good job at explaining what it is.
No.
Well, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where like you have to experience it to be able to like fully understand.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
hard to explain. It's
'Cause,
just
like, it's
you are
like-
celebrating Harry Potter, but
Yeah.
like it's so much more than that.
It's like a convention, but it's not like a convention. Like, it really is just kind of its own thing.
So if you too need to convince anybody, please see our previous episode,
Yeah.
and then they'll want to go.
I think Tiffany and I are going to try to go next year.
You better.
Do it.
You better bring baby Swisher, and they can be a mandrake.
Toting the babes. I'm probably not going to bring a baby to the park, though. Let's be real.
So
I'm gonna have to
I won't
take
have a
some
baby, so
Other people.
and a baby eats a boy. Well, all right.
All right. Are we ready for the...
Summary.
we have a summary.
The first Quidditch practice of the new year for Gryffindors is interrupted by the Slytherin team and their new seeker. After a mishap with his wand, the trio head to Hagrid's for some help and to catch up. Ron and Harry finally have to serve their detentions. Ron with Filch and Harry with Lockhart. And it ends with Harry telling Ron this strange thing he heard.
All right. So the chapter begins with a quick recap of what Harry has been doing the past few weeks. Which is, oh my God.
Yeah, I can't hear that. I can't hear that word without thinking that in my head.
Well, sorry.
Sorry.
Which is mainly just dodging Lockhart and Colin Creevy.
Oh,
like-
Colin Creevy.
So Colin pretty much has memorized Harry's schedule. And
So he is Colin Creepy.
he is Colin, like full on.
I was just going to be like, oh, do you think he's named Colin Creepy because he's a little creepy? Was legitimately going to ask that.
Oh my God. But he would follow Harry around and say, all right, Harry.
All right,
Like-
Harry.
6 or 7 times a day. How annoying.
Yes.
Like, Colin is the sweetest, but he is
Agreed.
like a leech.
Obsessed.
Harry's nicer than I am. I would be like, you need to GTFO
Go
now.
away.
Would you really actually say
Yes.
that to him? Poor Colin. I wonder, do you think he has any friends?
No.
Colin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's a lot of Harry's stalking time that could have been spent elsewhere. So I don't know if he has any friends.
Not yet, I
Still
bet.
new in the year.
I see it though.
Well, sometimes life is a little sad, Tiffany.
Okay. That's awkward. Moving on. Hedwig was still not okay with Harry and was being a sassy little owl towards him since the car incident and the Whomping Willow fiasco. She
I think it's understandable why she
does
did.
not hide her feelings well. Especially, I mean, and I didn't even add in the fact that she was rolling at the train station in her cage.
Right.
Poor
Oh
thing.
my god, I love her.
One out for Hedwig.
Yes. Oh gosh, pour the whole thing out for Hedwig.
It's a lot of alcohol to waste.
It's Hedwig.
No, it's Hedwig, is it?
Ron's wand was still a hot mess from breaking, and during Charms class, it shot out of his hand and hit Flitwick in between his eyes and made a throbbing green boil.
That was a good bell.
It was a really good bell. And so clearly he's been having a rough first week back at school, and he was looking forward to the weekend and forward to visiting Hagrid. Sarah.
So you know what I was thinking about with Ron's wand, how it's like, it's broken in half, right? He taped it back together with Spello tape. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about that versus Hagrid's wand, because I remember we had been talking about, like, is his wand full inside the umbrella, or is it still, like, in pieces? So I bet you it might still be in pieces if it's, because if Ron's still works-ish in a way where he can still do some magic, where Hagrid can't do, like, a lot of stuff, but he can still do some.
I feel like Hagrid's works way better than Ron's, though.
Yeah, but maybe like it's not mad at him. I don't know if that's even a thing. Like, can wands be mad at the person? Like,
Why
is he-
not?
I think it said they had an emotion.
Well, but the wand did not choose Ron. That wand chose the wand did not choose Ron. The wand chose Hagrid. You know what I mean? Like, that was his wand that he chose when he was 11.
So that's probably why it doesn't work as well.
Yeah. Things to think about.
It's like,
When
first I
Harry's-
didn't want you, second you broke me. So.
Right. When Harry's was snapped in half after Godric's Hollow, was it connected by any piece or no? I can't remember.
I can't remember. All
Or was it clean snap?
I want to say a clean snap, but don't quote me on that.
Well, you're saying it on a podcast.
I'm not positive.
So it's recorded. Megan doesn't know. Megan doesn't know. All right, so I wanted to dive into Colin a little more. There's not too much on him on Pottermore, but it's this Muggle-born Gryffindor and avid photographer is one of Harry's most devoted fans. There's a couple quotes. He was in the DA. Curious about Quidditch. It's easy enough to understand.
We're not at him yet.
Yeah, I'm just going over a little bit. He was in the dock. Did you not see
I'm
it?
saying Oliver.
Oh. I was like, he's kind of here. So we do know that his birthday is in 1981. We know his house is Gryffindor. His skills are photography. And sad.
Stalking?
Yes. And sad, we know his death is the 2nd of May, 1998. Sad tweet. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to move on.
Pour one out for Colin.
Yeah. And so Harry then gets a nice wake-up call from a special pal.
All right.
Can you read that?
Wakey, wakey, Quidditch and bakey.
I'm really good at creating the doc.
So good old Oliver wakes Harry up at the crack of dawn for Quidditch practice. And it says his eyes were gleaming with crazed enthusiasm.
He is a psycho.
He is obsessed.
Yeah.
He wants to start training now because the other teams haven't started yet. So get our feet on the right track right off the bat.
Get our feet on the right track. What?
I don't know.
She's going off stripped.
Off script.
Oh, God. I love
So I thought that we could do a little fact file on Oliver.
it. Okay.
Anybody know what house he's in? Anybody? This is very
Slytherin.
hard to find information.
I don't know what's happening from me across the table.
Gryffindor.
And you need to stop.
And his skills are keeper and captain of the Gryffindor Quidditch team. And did you guys know that he was later signed to Puddlemere United?
I did not know
Puddlemere
that.
United.
That's
the
really
song.
cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how long he played for them. How long is a professional Quidditch career, do you think? I mean,
really?
Yeah, because by the time we see Ginny 19 years later, she's already had her time and is now writing for the Daily
I
Prophet.
gotta assume it's something like the NFL. Like, you can't be in it long because you get the crap kicked out of you.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if it's any different. Like, did she have her kid? Like, did she stop when she had her first kid, or was she like still playing, kind of thing? That's one thing I was wondering with her.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's interesting.
His hobbies are devising rigorous Quidditch training programs and giving speeches.
What a great hobby to have.
Side note, if you Google Oliver Wood, it says parents, Mr. Wood and Mrs. Wood.
What?
It's literally, that's what it says.
Oh my gosh.
Super helpful. So Harry gets dressed and then is on his way down to Quidditch practice when he runs into Colin Creevy.
Creepy.
Colin shows him the picture that he took of Harry and Lockhart, and Harry's pleased to see that the picture Harry won't show himself in the frame.
I like that because that just
too.
shows you like how much personality just the pictures in the Wizarding
Yeah.
World have.
I also thought it was cute. I just remember this from reading it. Like, Harry recognizes his own arm, and then Lockhart in the picture is trying to tug Harry out, and then he just leans against the side of the frame and is like breathing heavy because he can't pull Harry aside. So like they even have their own personalities within it.
So,
my
like,
God.
where did Harry go, though? Like, is he just off
I
in,
don't
like,
know.
the space in between pictures? Is that, like, a thing?
That's
question.
like the $1 million question.
'Cause
Where
think
do
if, like-
people in pictures go
Yeah.
when you're like? Is he in another photo? Like what other photo
Yeah.
though? Like what?
Even think, like,
what's
Well,
happening?
I mean, if you think about it, like how many photos has he been printed in
Yeah.
newspapers and stuff?
Or
and
even-
if they travel from picture to picture,
What if you're just like randomly looking through a photo album and then all of a sudden another version like comes in and you're like, what are you doing here?
but, like, I wonder if when they took the picture of him and Lockhart at Flourish and Blots, like, if that Harry, too, was like, I'm bye. Like,
that's a
peace
good
out.
question.
Could you have like future self of you in
That's
a
what
picture?
Tiffany
I was
visit
thinking-
like baby self of
I was
you in a
thinking of
picture.
that. And think about, like, them holding themselves, like, as a baby. It's, like,
That's
crazy.
some serious Instagram postage.
Like, just imagine little Harry on his broom in that picture from Deathly Hallows that he finds. with
Okay,
James.
but what about
That
other
zooms
pictures?
into.
Can
But, like-
he interact with his parents?
I was going to ask the same thing.
This is getting deep and sweaty, guys.
It's getting real off track and deep and sweaty.
I'm just saying. Tell me more
Good
about
old Colin
Dear
bringing the photos.
Show. Tell us me about
Bringing the
pictures.
conversation. So Colin wants him to sign it, and Harry very quickly says no. And then he tries to get rid of him, but Colin ends up just following him down to the Quidditch pitch because he's like, oh, I've never watched a Quidditch game before. And he's just like incessantly asking him all of these questions as they're walking down. Were you the youngest house player in 100 years? You were the youngest house player in 100 years, weren't you, Harry? Weren't you? You must be brilliant. I've never flown. Is it easy? Is that your own broom? Is that the best one there is?
Is annoying me now. And I want him to be like, just knock it off.
And you know Harry's like not
Way too
the biggest morning person though.
Oh, yeah,
like,
I know.
It's
Yeah.
crazy when I read this. I read it in like that quick, like
Yes.
little
Yes.
kid
Yeah.
annoying voice.
You must be brilliant. I've never flown. Is it easy? Is that your broom? Like, just like,
Did you take a breath?
yeah,
Probably not.
yeah. And then this segues nicely into Colin asking all about Quidditch, basically so that Joe can explain the rules again for everybody because she
Yep.
likes to do those little
Recap.
Yep. And then Harry finally is able to get rid of him while Colin goes and finds a good seat.
Ready for the show.
So Wood, they all meet in the Quidditch locker room, and Wood has a whole new training program. Yes,
This
Sarah?
might seem like a dumb question, but does each house have their own, I almost said bathroom, own,
locker room.
uh-huh.
You know what? In my head, I kind of just imagine that there's just two locker rooms and
Yeah,
they just have whatever
same.
two teams are playing.
just
But
curious.
I don't know. I guess that's just how I pictured it.
But
Though.
maybe like the Gryffindors always have one that they always like, and the Slytherins, like, you know, there's two, but like you always know which one is
Maybe
for
they're
which.
just like assigned to two, like 2 and 2.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you know what? That doesn't make sense because what if like Gryffindor and Hufflepuff are playing each other, but they usually
No,
have
you're
the
right,
same
you're right.
locker room. So
You're
I
right.
bet you it's just random.
Fair point.
I wonder if it like self-decorates for the team.
I bet it does.
Or the house elves do it.
Also,
Spew.
not yet. That's in 2 books.
That's in 8 years.
Pretty much. So Wood spent all summer devising this brand new training program. So he has 3 diagrams of like the Quidditch pitch that he has to go through, and everyone is just falling asleep. And by the time they actually get out onto the pitch, the sun is up. So Colin's out there taking 1,000 pictures, and Harry lies and pretends he doesn't know who he is.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's Fred who's like, "What's that noise?" Because he hears the camera clicking, and Harry's like, "I don't know who that is." And Wood actually thinks that he might be a spy for Slytherin.
I love that he jumps to that. It just shows you like how insane he is about Quidditch.
Well, like even this huge rivalry between them.
Yes.
So they barely even have a chance to start practicing because the Slytherins decide to come out onto the Quidditch field.
They're out
And they
today.
have a note from Severus Snape because they have to train their new Seeker, and they've got new brooms. Does anybody know who the new Seeker is?
I love the little thing you put there. It's the face.
surprise face.
Yes.
So Draco Malfoy is the new Seeker, and his daddy bought the whole
My
team.
father.
My father bought the whole team Nimbus 2001s.
I like how it's 2001.
You know, they came out with that broom model really quick after the 2000. I
Well, but
wonder why.
Think about iPhones. Every single year they come out with a new iPhone. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5S, 6S, blah blah blah. Every
Yeah.
year there's a new one. So
I wonder-
maybe every year they have a new, slightly better.
Sometimes 2 a year, honestly.
Yeah.
But you don't hear about the Nimbus brand after we hear about the Firebolt. So I wonder.
Isn't the Firebolt part of the Nimbus brand?
I don't know.
I don't know. I may have just made that up.
Why are you lying to listeners?
I'm sorry. I just
So Hermione's a total boss though, because she's like,
at least no one in the Gryffindor team had to buy their way in.
Keep going.
keep going.
They got in on pure talent.
I did read it in her voice. When I was
Yep.
reading it.
Yep.
To which Malfoy replies, "No one asked your opinion, you filthy little mudblood.
Didn't say it in his.
It's one of the best lines in the movie, man.
Would you like to do it?"
She's
No
a
one
s-
asked your opinion, you filthy little mudblood.
Ooh, you
Leave
should
it
have
to the
seen
Slytherin.
her face.
She was also looking at me. So.
Right.
I just like to look in Sarah's eyes on my podcast.
So I wanted to read the reaction to this. So it says, Harry knew at once that Malfoy had said something really bad because there was an instant uproar at his words. Flint had to dive in front of Malfoy to stop Fred and George jumping on him. Alicia shrieked, "How dare you!" And Ron plunged his hand into his robes, pulled out his wand, yelling, "You'll pay for that one, Malfoy," and pointed it furiously under Flint's arm at Malfoy's face.
I wish that the movie had done a better job at that reaction.
Yeah, but I like
Yeah.
when he's like, "Eat slugs."
So yeah.
Fun fact about him eating slugs: those are flavored slugs because I guess like the first ones were really gross.
like
So-
gummy ones.
Yeah,
He
So-
got to choose flavors.
Yeah, so he was burping up flavored.
That'd be so fun.
And another fun fact for their wedding, not their wedding, but their bachelorette party, I tried to do like people soak gummy bears in vodka. So I got the jelly slugs and I tried to soak them in vodka.
Did it work?
Not that much, but Megan still eats them. It just probably would have taken longer, because they are
It's
harder.
like a different consistency.
Yeah,
the jelly slugs are harder than gummy
yeah.
bears.
The jelly slugs are more like fruit snacky as
Yeah.
opposed to gummy
Yeah.
bear.
I can't eat any of that. Like I can't eat gummy worms. They gross me out.
You
love a good
literally
gummy
have been
worm.
snacking on gummy bears for months.
Those are bears.
You can eat bears, but not worms.
They aren't bugs.
I'd be more comfortable eating a bug than a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I got worms in my mouth. Give me a worm mouth.
No, we're not doing that.
All right.
Wait. I could eat a gummy worm if it was in a snack pack with a little bit of dirt Oreo stuff.
Underneath the
Okay,
mandrake.
but that's not in a snack pack.
Worms and dirt is the best dessert ever.
Dude, I love me some snack packs.
Snack
I
pack,
feel like I've
snack
talked
pack.
about snack packs like on this podcast like 4 or 5 times.
We might want to get back to talking about, other things like Harry
but this
Potter.
is why
and
people
whatnot.
like the podcast because we're not professionals.
We should contact Snack Pack and have them sponsor
Oh my
us.
god! I
Dear
always think of,
snack pack.
Who's who is he playing? Adam Sandler. What's his character's
Billy
name?
Madison.
Yes.
Guys, the commercial could be like, "Swish on over and have a snack pack."
Yeah. Snack pack.
Yo, snack packs.
Anyway, so Ron tries to curse Draco, but his wand backfires on him. Poor thing starts burping and vomiting up slugs. And Harry and Hermione decide to take him to Hagrid's because it's closest. And Colin's like, "Can you turn
around,
Yeah,
Harry.
turn around, Harry, trying to get a picture of him, and Harry's like, get out of the way. He's just super annoying. Yes, Tiffany.
What's the spell for that? Because all he says is eat slugs. Because I know he's not doing no
He doesn't say-
nonverbals.
I don't think he says eat slugs in the book.
No, I don't think he does
I
either.
think he was just thinking about it.
He says eat slugs in a previous chapter, but doesn't actually get the chance
Yes.
to do the spell.
So
I remember that.
So did he nonverbal this?
I guess.
But and Hermione later on says, she's like, I don't know why he even tried to do that. It's a very difficult spell with a working wand.
Yeah.
So do you think that he was just thinking about it so hard that he nonverbaled it almost or accurately, but his wand sucks?
Think
get
about
behind that.
I don't know romantic feelings wise how he feels about Hermione at this point, but that's one of his best friends, and it's like for him, he out of the three of them, he knows what that word
understands.
means,
Yeah.
and he knows that honestly Hermione's the best one out of the three of them. So maybe he's just so overprotective, and if he doesn't love her yet as a love interest, he loves her as a friend,
Right.
And so he gets so fired up, he's like, "Grr," and he doesn't get the words out, but he has all of the thought behind it.
Totally get like that whenever it comes to being defensive about certain things I care about a lot.
I get real fired up when people are like, "You need to calm down." They're like, "We're not even on that level," and I'm like, "No!" Whatever they could be talking about.
This just gives me fuel for the fire of the Ron Bulldor theory. If he's producing
okay.
nonverbal spells.
This is what she says. She goes,
Nobody Bueller. All right, moving on.
"This is what Hermione says," because Hagrid's like, "Better out than in." He's like, "Get them all up, Ron." She goes, "I don't think there's anything to do except wait for it to stop," said Hermione anxiously, watching Ron bend over the basin. That's a difficult curse to work with at the best of times, but with a broken wand.
I love how she knows about it though, that seems like such a random spell to
Right.
begin with.
I bet she
But
looks
Hermione's
up.
that's difficult. Of course you know what
And
it is.
I wonder, in that moment of time, because for me, when I think about their relationship, I feel like she maybe not fell in love, but started really liking him after he
Stood up for her.
no in the first book when he essentially sacrifices himself for
Yeah.
both of them. So she might already have oh, I kind of have a crush on you kind of thing, but you're just my friend. And seeing him stand up for her like that, I wonder what she was thinking.
She was catching the feels.
Yeah.
All sorts of feels.
So the trio head towards Hagrid's, and Lockhart is there, trying to give more bogus advice, of course. And Hagrid actually kind of speaks ill of him, which shocks Harry because Hagrid always respects all of the Hogwarts teachers.
Right.
And is this the first time that we find out that the Defense Against the Dark Arts job is cursed? Because Hagrid says...
I feel like yes.
I don't remember who said it, but someone was like, I can't believe that he was appointed. And
He was the
Hagrid
only man for the job.
Yeah, he's the only one. People are starting to think that it's cursed.
Yeah.
I think this is the first mention, but I'm not sure.
Well, Hermione
Fairly
says...
certain that it is.
Yeah, she goes, "I think you're being a bit unfair. Professor Dumbledore obviously thought he was the best man
That's
for the
right.
job." And Hagrid's like, no, he was the only man for the job. And he literally says, he's like, "And I mean the only one. Getting it very difficult to find anyone for the dark arts job. People aren't too keen to take it on. They're starting to think it's cursed or jinxed," is what he says. "No one's lasted longer for a while now. So tell me, who was he trying to curse?" Oh, he's talking about
I would
Malfoy.
love to know what the time span of a while is and if Voldemort really did curse or jinx it.
I always
believe
thought it
he
was
did.
a year, but
I
I
thought
don't
that
know.
it was canon that he did.
Yeah.
Is it canon that
Yeah.
he did?
I thought.
Let's find that.
I'm going to say 90% yes.
Resource there, kiddos.
I also, just throwing this out there, talking about Lockhart, I am just shocked that Hermione is okay with him as a teacher.
I think she's blinded by his
Yes.
smile.
And his wavy
I know,
blonde
but
hair.
she just so seems
But-
not the type of person to let that phase her, especially when it comes to education.
but
she's a person.
Yeah, she's
still a 12-year-old
Yeah.
girl who has a
And-
crush on him.
yeah.
Maybe she's just thinking, oh, well, he's written all of these things, so we don't know the whole story yet. And so she's trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, being like, no, he must have been able to do all of these wonderful things if he was able to write these books.
yeah.
I think when we think of Hermione, we just think of her in such a more adult tone rather than we think
Yeah.
of the boys because they are constantly doing insane crap and she's constantly being like, no, you need to slow down. But when it gets down to it, she is a young girl who fancies
And no one's perfect.
him.
It's not a thing.
Certainly not.
I definitely would have been blinded by Remus Lupin's good looks.
Yeah,
I think I
Lockhart's
would
not
be.
my speed.
I'm not into
No.
blondes.
I'm into tall, dark, and handsome. Give me that Martin O'Malley.
Ugh.
Serious?
Lee?
Yeah. Like, yeah. Who would you pair me up with?
In Harry
From the
Potter
Potter
world?
ones?
Yeah.
Hermione. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
She is hot.
Probably Harry.
Oh, like kid-wise?
Just in,
And-
I don't know if you'd be able
Anybody-wise.
to be with Harry. I think you'd
He's
be,
a little too reckless for me.
I think you would be like, you need to
well, then
stop
Sirius
it.
is definitely not for you.
I feel like I would
But
love to be in a
Sirius is
relationship with
just
Sirius.
so hot.
Yeah. Like, that's how I think of, like, and I like Gary Oldman. Like, he's a good actor.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
but
he
he's
was-
too old. But I
Whoa.
like.
I mean,
No, I mean, I like him. I love him. He does a great job as Sirius, but like, legitimately, he is much older than Sirius is supposed to be.
they all were.
I know. It annoys me.
We've had this discussion.
yeah.
We know how I feel about it.
What if Adam Driver played
Oh, my
Sirius?
gosh.
No, he's Snape.
He's a Snape, but he could Snape me any day.
What does that mean?
No.
It means whatever you want it to mean.
Okay.
I feel like we should insert that quote from your mom here.
What?
So Meg's side note,
Oh.
Meg's mom has a huge crush on Alan Rickman. Like huge crush.
Loves him.
And
he
for
was
whatever reason, the one day she goes, "Ooh, he's so sexy. I want to blow bubbles on his biceps." And
What
we
does
didn't
that
know
mean?
how to react to that.
I was just like,
What?
Mom?
I-
Let's not talk like that.
Talking about Alan Rickman. Mom, stop. The other day I put in Chamber of the Secrets. Chamber of Secrets, and like I haven't. The last time I watched Harry Potter was like a while ago, and I don't know. I was just having a bad day, so like it was just so nice to hear his voice. I was like, oh, Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like McGonagall. I'm like, God, I miss you guys.
Anyway,
All right, back to
Harry Potter?
Who's Harry Potter? What?
I'm crying right now.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't be sad.
Because there were bubbles on biceps and she doesn't know what to do.
she gets all hot and bothered by it.
So Hagrid asks why.
My mom does.
Hagrid asks why Ron was even belching up slugs in the first place. So they explain that he tried to curse Malfoy. And I'm just going to quote what Ron says explaining what a mudblood is. He says, it's a really foul name for someone who's muggle-born. There are some wizards who think they're better than everyone else because they're what people call pure blood. I mean, the rest of us know it doesn't make any difference at all. Look at Neville Longbottom. He's pure blood and he can hardly stand a cauldron the right way up.
Poor Neville.
I know. And then he goes on to say, you know, people call it dirty blood or common blood, and most wizards these days are half-blood, and if wizardkind hadn't married muggles, they probably would have died out. If you go on...
He's like, he has so much knowledge.
and he doesn't realize it. I
No,
don't think
he
at all.
doesn't at all.
A huge movieism that I hate is that Hermione says
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
As first
Yeah.
of all, she doesn't know. She's not a she's a.
She doesn't
Muggle-born.
have that kind of experience with
And
the
it
term.
would have been just they gave so many, and not saying that Hermione's not a great character and doesn't have great lines of her own, but they gave so many of Ron's good lines to her.
They wanted to play him as a certain doofusy kind of
He
joke.
was comic relief in
Yeah.
the books, in the movies.
But I mean,
Flat
but he
out.
was
I mean,
almost
we've
comic
said
relief in the
this.
books too, but in
Yes.
such a better way.
Yes.
Like, but that's a thing where you lose a lot of magic going from books to movies, and that's just one of them that always bothers me. I'm like, how would she know what a mudblood is?
I mean, I don't doubt that she would have.
She didn't know.
no,
She had no
like-
idea in the book.
I know, but I'm saying like that's something that she could have potentially
Correct.
had known. But it just
But just like textbook
Yeah.
definition of it. Whereas like what Ron is explaining here is more so
You probably
like-
wouldn't find that in a book.
Right.
Agreed.
Ugh, I just love Ron.
Katie, agreed. On Pottermore, it says, quote, "Mudblood is a very impolite term in wizarding circles, and you certainly shouldn't be searching for it."
You said certainly should be searching for
I
it.
know. I typed that wrong.
she's not so Hufflepuff. Just
Sorry.
kidding, she is.
So
Oh, sorry, I jumped ahead.
It's okay. Yeah, I was going to compare the book to the movie and how you guys said it perfectly because I can see it either way. But I guess it just depends on the medium too, because for the book, it worked for the book, and for the movie, it kind of worked for the movie.
I just wish that, like, I don't know, but they need to give more lines to Ron.
And
I agree.
Like him.
Well, no, we've already talked about this. Like at the end of Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone, how Hermione is supposed to...
She's saying it for all our listeners.
How Hermione was supposed to kind of have a moment where she just like forgot what she could do. And
I
Ron
love
is
that.
like, are you a witch or not? Like, I wish that would have been in there.
and because she says it back to him like later on, and she's like, "Are you a wizard or not?" He's like, "Oh yeah," like I completely forgot.
Yeah.
They're just cute together.
So I'll end my section with Hagrid shows them these giant pumpkins he's growing, and we get mentioned that he's kind of giving them a little bit of help with magic, and we find out again he's not supposed to be doing magic, and he was expelled in his 3rd year, but he will not ever say why.
Completely changes
Foreshadowing.
the subject.
Totally changes the subject, and
Major foreshadowing.
I still have,
There's a lot of foreshadowing in this book.
I have major
Yes.
issues with his expulsion.
Same.
Like, major.
You know how much I love him, so let's not even talk about it. There's this one,
like,
Well, we're going to get to that whenever
yeah.
it's
we
just
see the memory and everything probably later on.
so irritating to me.
There's this one. Have you guys seen it? Like fan art where he like goes back to school and he's like, giant Hagrid. And
older.
he's like so excited because he's sitting in
Yes.
class. The first
It's
time I
almost
saw
like
it, it brought tears to my eyes. I'm like,
It's
this
almost
is
like
so
a
cute.
mirror of Harry. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's a whole post too where like Harry takes Hagrid to Diagon
Shut
Alley
up.
and does the
Yeah.
whole thing
Oh
with
my
him.
God.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah, it makes me literally want to cry my little eyes out.
I actually have a lot of issues with how students are expelled in general at Hogwarts. Like, just seems really unfair.
It seems like a lot of people are biased.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times
Who else do we know
Like,
that
Harry
actually
really
gets
could have been expelled.
isn't Newt expelled?
Okay.
Meg, Harry is Harry. He can't get expelled no matter what.
I know, but like
Right, but he like did. If you think about, I mean,
Like,
like
he
he got
should
the
have.
letter and he should have.
yeah,
And like the fact that those 2 incidents could have expelled someone from school, and like
Well, who
getting
was-
expelled at Hogwarts is very different than getting expelled in the real world.
who
Yeah,
was
but then
in
you-
office?
yes,
Who was in office?
Fudge.
A crooked
can-
politician.
I can
Well.
understand why it happened and everything, but at the same, I don't know.
But I
a lot
also
of
think,
issues.
like, okay, if you're expelled, like, think of it like, I don't know. I'm pulling from Gilmore Girls. Okay, so Logan from Gilmore Girls gets expelled from like all these different prep schools and like these boarding schools. So I wonder if it's just like, okay, so he gets expelled from Hogwarts, he can go to Durmstrang or what's it?
But then
Money
why didn't
talks.
Hagrid?
He has money.
Money talks.
He has
But
money.
does he have enough money? Like you're saying, Logan, who comes from rich parents, like
Harry is
Michael-
insanely rich.
I understand
No,
that.
no,
Oh,
I'm
you're talking about
Hagrid.
everybody?
Hagrid. I
But
think
yeah, and
she
other
means
people,
Hagrid.
like
How much money would you think it would be? It would be the same amount for school supplies. It's not like it's
no,
transportation.
What I'm saying is that like
Yeah, but I bet if you don't live in that area, there's probably a tuition that's attached to it. Plus, you have to pay for travel to get to
or
that
like
place.
what I mean is
have
like
parents anymore.
bribing someone. Like you just
Yeah.
can't like. My kid has a track record of doing all these things, and think of what Hagrid is accused of. Then you know what I
he's
mean?
half giant.
And he's half giant, so they already don't like him.
All right, him aside though.
But I'm
Yeah.
just saying in general, like whatever you did to get expelled, you have to go to another school and be like, well, this did happen, but
I feel like Durmstrang would take anybody.
I don't
This
know.
is true.
Ayo.
But would Durmstrang take a half giant?
I don't know. They take other dark people.
Okay,
They
but
only take
Alrighty.
How many times did we do that at the celebration weekend because
Oh
Crumb was
my
there?
god, yeah, Crumb was there. So me and Katie would just look at each other and go, Crumb, Crumb, Crumb.
oh my gosh, he's so
When
good
he
looking.
came on stage, I was
Yeah,
like,
Did he have a beard?
he,
he looked exactly
it
like he
wasn't
does.
big, but he looked like Crumb.
Oh, with short hair.
Yeah.
You know I
Sad.
love a good beard.
He was so funny. Well, you can listen
Beards
to our
are
previous
life.
episode, but he was so funny.
All right.
Sarah.
Sarah.
turn.
Hey guys, it's Sarah Cohen.
So Harry is very happy to be going back to the castle. Not so much leaving Hagrid, but he has not eaten anything but a treacle tart. Except it
on.
wasn't a treacle tart; it was treacle fudge.
I think this is the first time since you've been back that like you have a section again. And this is exciting. The other times you just kind of like came on and like were a part of it.
Hooray!
It just makes me happy.
Warms my heart.
All right.
We love you.
So Harry's heading back to the castle so he can finally get some lunch because all he had was some treacle fudge, which I can't imagine would be that good having treacle.
Treacle.
remember that tart thing I made?
Oh, gross.
It's like
I've had treacle fudge.
I'm just not a big fudge person. It's probably super sweet, right? Because treacle is very
but
sweet.
And there's raisins in it, but there's not a lot of raisins.
I don't like any
The
raisins.
Wizarding World in Orlando used to have it, but they don't have it anymore, and it makes me very sad.
I like my raisins to be plump, then fermented and turned into wine. Which is a lie. I mean, not a lie, but I like a good grape and not a raisin.
I don't really. Either.
You've had the treacle fudge, right?
Yeah, once.
It was good.
It is
like,
good.
If I eat something sweet, I have to have milk.
I'm also not a milk fan, so his joy of lunchtime comes to a halt when McGonagall tells Harry and Ron what their detentions are going to be that night at 8:00. So Lockhart has requested Harry to help him sign his fan mail, and Ron is going to the trophy room and to clean the trophies with Filch.
I think it's funny that Harry's like, can't I please clean trophies with Ron? I do not want to be with Lockhart.
In the book, they're literally like, both of them are like, I wish I was doing like, I would rather do that. And like, if they could switch, they'd be in like a perfect world.
How perfect are these assignments? You're right. Because if you think about it, Ron
They say this
is
in
a
the
wuss.
book.
He hates physical labor. He hates everything like not hates everything non-magical, but he hates doing any kind of work because he's a kept kid.
He literally,
Molly
he's like, I'm
kept
terrible
him.
at muggle cleaning. And Harry's like, I do it
Harry's
all the time.
a pro. Harry loathes being in the presence of Lockhart. McGonagall knows these things. She's like, let me just assign the most perfect attentions ever.
Yep.
And I would like to point out, these are regular kind of detentions, not going into the forest. Oh, thank you.
or writing
Well,
things with your own blood.
But, that's neither here nor
That's
there.
a whole separate issue, Katie.
We'll get there later.
That's
a
called
whole-
torture. That's not a detention.
There's a whole separate issue.
I can't wait for episodes on Umbridge, man.
This is what I think about, and I was thinking about this when I was rereading and everything. So Harry gets there at 8:00 and doesn't leave for after midnight. Like, that's a long time.
I too questioned the time.
And I'm like, gosh, like, I don't know. I'm old. So, like, maybe as a 12-year-old, I could stay up till midnight. But, like, I would be, like, nodding off while I'm doing
Well, this is the same day that Wood woke him up at the crack of dawn. So
He's
gotta be
literally been up
exhausted.
for forever.
So he gets his little assignment, and that ruins his appetite, basically. So he didn't get to enjoy his shepherd's pie at lunch.
How sad.
Shepherd's pie is delicious.
The last time I ate it made me sick, so I can't eat it anymore. So,
We learn about Sarah.
fun facts.
Random facts.
So at 8 p.m. sharp, Harry arrives at Lockhart's office. His office is, of course, covered in pictures of himself. Some are even signed. He has a stack of photos on his desk that he's sending to his fans. So Lockhart has Harry address the envelopes while he tells him more about himself and how he is famous. He says things like, "Fame is a fickle friend, Harry, and celebrity is as celebrity does. Remember that."
I'll have to remember that.
Also, he writes in lilac ink.
And all I can hear is Kenneth Branagh's like voice in my head saying all those things.
Yeah.
So perfect.
He's such a good actor.
He was really good as Lockhart.
Who was it supposed to be again?
Hugh Grant, I believe.
That's right. I'm glad that it's Kenneth Branagh.
Yes. Well, I really like him. So while addressing Veronica Smelthy's envelope and praying that the detention was almost over, he heard a voice to chill the bone marrow. A voice, that says to chill the bone marrow. And a voice of breathtaking, ice-cold venom say, Come to me, let me rip you, let me tear you. Except that's not what this says. Let me kill you.
Let me hear you, is what the doc says.
I was trying to make it sound like parcel tongue there as the background noise for you.
So obviously
good, though.
shaken.
Translating?
Yes, thank you. Obviously shaken, Harry jumps, and Lockhart, thinking he's like exclaiming about this great story I was telling.
Because doesn't he yell like, what?
Yes.
Yeah,
And he's like, I know. It was like perfect timing. So Lockhart realizes what time it is. He's like, oh, blimey, Harry, is that the time?
Good gosh.
So he sends him back to his dorm, and so Harry gets ready for bed and waits for Ron to get back from his detention to tell him what he heard. So Ron finally gets back, and he tells Harry how Filch had him scrubbing the Quidditch cup 14 times, and then he had another slug attack all over the special awards for services to the school, and it took forever to get the slime off of it.
Foreshadowing.
Yes.
I love it. I love picking up all the little pieces.
Yeah.
After the
Well,
fact.
Yes.
And he,
Like, obviously, you never would have known that reading.
oh yeah,
No, I mean, it's
like
meaningless
when you're
information.
rereading, and even in the movies, in the beginning of Chamber of Secrets, when he's in Bergen and I can't say it,
Borgen and Burke.
I have a speech impediment.
Boogada-boo.
And you see the necklace that Draco uses to curse later on. Oh
The
my God,
opal.
it's so great.
And the Hand of Glory.
Yes. I am the hand of glory, and I'm waiting on the edge of... I don't know the words to this song.
Okay.
But Ron also says that his whole body, like his muscles were seizing after, he comes back a half hour later, so it's probably almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and he was working, scrubbing these trophies for an hour,
like
4 to 5 hours.
And Filch was there, like, do it again.
Do it in a Filch voice.
Oh, I don't know.
Do it again.
That was Sarah, and that was good, and I can't follow that up.
It kind of scared me really bad.
Oh,
Should I try to do the snake voice again? I could try to do the snake voice all scary.
Okay, do it.
Come to me. Let me rip you. Let me tear you.
How would Florence say it?
Let me kill you.
Oh my God.
Nightmares.
Oh, Florence would say, oh, come to me. I'm going to rip you. I'm going to tear you. And I'm going to kill you. Bye.
I said no, thank you. Oh Lord. Well,
Oh, God.
so
Bill would just say something else, but I can't say that on the podcast.
she cannot, and that brings us to the lightning bolt
Lightning
round.
bolt round.
Welcome back, Sarah. So, I have a question for everyone on this table.
No
On
one's
this
on the table. We're
At the
around
table.
the
I'm
table.
at the table.
All right. What would your reaction have been had you heard the voice?
I probably would have pooped my pants.
I was thinking that, but I was thinking a different word. I would probably
Tiffany just gave me the triple blink.
I would.
What does that mean?
That's the annoyed blink.
I was thinking if I was going to say something, and then I thought I'd rather not.
What I would probably
Pertaining
do,
to your
it would probably
experiences.
scare me so much where like Harry exclaimed what, I would be like, like kind of like
Just
clenched,
freeze up.
like
Tense.
like my will be closed.
Please record that. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I probably would have yelled out. I don't think I would have made any like actual words come
I
out.
probably would have sounded like the porg. No, not that one. Do it again. Nope, not that one.
Come on, Galactic Chicken. Work with us.
That one.
Sorry, everyone.
I wonder if I can do like
Long one. Jeez. Stop.
hammer time.
I apologize for everyone's ears.
Yeah, guys, it's getting real weird. All right, lightning bolt round. Sarah, this is your bread and butter. Don't disappoint.
What would you rather have come out of your mouth besides slugs? Like, like if you could have a jelly item come out of your mouth.
Jello. Because it's easy. Or water.
Skittles?
Ow! That would hurt. Think about throwing.
Good.
Yeah, but think about throwing it up.
I don't know. They might be okay.
Meg's over here barfing the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow, barf the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow part two. Again.
I am married to a woman.
That's true. It's all about rainbows here. I'm married to a woman, so I barf the rainbow. Barf and crap in rainbows. Oh gosh.
Oh my Oh my gosh.
I love everything that's happening here.
Katie,
tonight.
what would you want to come out of your mouth?
You could say M&Ms because those are kind of rainbow.
No, they get all melty.
They melt in your mouth, not in your hands.
I'm trying to think of something easy.
That's why I
just
said
like straight
Jell-O.
up water or something.
No, you can't have water. Jello, I might let pass.
What?
How about spiders, Kate?
Oh, what?
Oh gosh.
Oh no, I don't know.
Trying to think, what would I want to come out of my mouth?
Laffy Taffy.
She killed that feet down.
Ooh, that love it, damn it.
What animal? What small animal
What?
did you want? Because it's a slug.
A fish, small fish.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of
But
like
think
the
of like
easiest stuff.
no, but like think of something like
barf.
you want to do this to your worst enemy. You want them to eat whatever, but it backfires on you. What would you want your worst enemy to eat?
Oh well, that's
vomit.
different.
But it's gonna happen to you though. But you don't.
But you don't know that.
So what do you want your worst enemy to vomit?
She's so excited right now.
I'm gonna say porgs.
Oh god.
Oh, that's
Their poor
huge.
jaws.
probably snakes.
Snakes.
But
Centipedes.
good Lord, would I have a panic attack if that happened to me? Oh my
Think about
god.
if they were real long.
Oh my god.
Like the things coming out of when they were pulling the curtains. Not the curtains.
Like when clowns pull the scarves.
The scarves or like the handkerchiefs, the curtains.
I can't handle this episode anymore.
No one's gonna be able to. This is why we need Sarah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I need to leave because I always had ridiculous things. All right, so you said snakes. You said what do you
Centipedes.
want? Oh gosh, it's so gross.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I mean, I might say spiders if it's my worst enemy because I think that would be they'd be all crawling with their legs in your throat.
Yeah.
I want.
Ooh, what about jellied eels like at Diagon Alley?
Ew, the
have
jelly
them
eel
in the window.
pie.
Rats.
Rat.
Oh,
What about-
I love rats? I would play with them.
What about?
Gosh.
Thank you for vomiting up a pet
she's
for
like
me.
puking them up. These are my babies now.
Rats are so cool. We had pet rats.
God.
They
What about blast-ended scroots?
Oh my gosh, that's dangerous.
Someone
Ooh, what if they were
died.
nifflers?
You'd be like, huh.
Oh, but that'd be cute.
Are you really a Hufflepuff? Because I'm not
The
sure.
other color is black. All right, there's a reason.
You're right. Okay.
Let's see some
What are we
other
doing now?
questions. Ooh, what would you say to Creevy to be like GTFO? How would you get him to go away from you?
I don't think you
essentially?
can.
I would be like,
Clings to you.
look over there and run.
I would be like, Colin, Harry Potter's gonna be there in 2 seconds.
You are Harry Potter.
Oh. but maybe you can say that and he'd fall for it.
I don't think he's that
Oh my gosh.
dumb.
Oh my gosh. I would be like, hey, I forgot blah, blah, blah in the Gryffindor Tower. Can you go get it for me?
Oh, that's
Oh,
It's like a
kinda
mystery
mean.
mission with no end goal.
I would probably sit him down and have an actual conversation and be like, "You listen,
You
bro."
wouldn't.
I legitimately would. I would be honest with the dude. You need to cool
I don't know
it.
if I see you doing that.
Oh, I totally would.
No.
I feel like you would just be like,
100%
hey,
no.
Colin, GTFO.
I probably
peace."
would. Let's be honest. I would be honest with him though. I'd be like, "You're really annoying. Like you, but you need to get away from me."
Like you, but don't like you.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Katie, what would you say to him?
Katie wouldn't say anything.
No, she
I would
wouldn't.
let him follow.
I love when we all say this. She's like, "Nah, I wouldn't do anything." She's probably thinking, she's like, "This is just making me anxious, thinking I have to say something to him anyways."
Yeah. Katie would deal.
I would complain to you guys about it, but I wouldn't actually do anything.
So
about
basically, she'd talk crap.
it. Yeah.
Oh my
Let me
goodness.
think of any other questions I could ask.
Question?
That slug one was a good one.
Oh.
If you could punch Malfoy in the face because he called Hermione a mudblood, would you?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I'd give him a big old kiss. I'm just kidding. Just a big smooch.
Our smooch.
Maybe all Draco needs is some love.
He needs a good hug.
Yeah, he needs
He
a good
does.
hug.
Voldemort gives him one in the
Voldemort
last
gave
movie.
So awkward.
Oh, gosh.
Malfoy does need some love.
Trying to think of what
Pansy
else.
Parkinson probably gives it to him.
Ugh. Gross.
She's not a nice lady.
No. Do we want to go to our fan story?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. Oh,
Me, me,
a
me,
little problem
me.
there. So this one comes from
Okay, no.
Fan story time.
Sarah, can you not
Story.
forget your microphone next time because I can't share it anymore.
Do you want to use this here?
No, it's fine. So this comes from Greg Martyr.
Yes, Greg.
Meg.
I'm old, Greg. Please tell me, Greg, you know what that is.
Greg says, I was a freshman in high school in 2000 and the holidays were coming up. I told my dad I wanted a PlayStation 2 for Hanukkah and he agreed to get it for me under one condition. I had to read a book. At the time,
I like it.
I know. At the time, the only thing I really read outside of school was Calvin and Hobbes comics,
Oh,
and I
good
guess
one.
my dad wasn't pleased with this. So I agreed to the deal and decided to read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone because my bookworm sister already had the first 4 books. I honestly didn't know anything about Harry Potter going in, other than that it was very popular. I soldiered through the first chapter, thinking it was boring, but continued to read anyway. Pretty soon after that, I couldn't put it down. When I finished, I immediately read Chamber of Secrets and just kept going. My love for the world J.K. Rowling created continued to grow over the years, especially after meeting my wife, who loves Harry Potter even more than I do. We ended up spending half our honeymoon at the Wizarding World in Orlando. Us too. It's kind of funny that I only began reading Harry Potter so I could get a PlayStation 2, because when I look back, the best thing I got for Hanukkah that year was clearly not the PlayStation. It was the introduction to one of my favorite things in the world.
I just got happy chills. I love
It
that.
makes me want to cry a little bit. I don't know what's wrong with me today. That's so cute.
Darn it, Greg. You
Thanks,
are
Greg. We like
awesome.
your
you,
story.
Greg.
Literally, I'm crying.
Happy
now.
Hanukkah.
She is. There's real tears. There really was.
Something must be in the air.
Something's weird tonight,
It was
guys.
just the wording of that last
Yeah.
sentence. It was
no,
perfect.
it's perfect. It's like poetry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you for asking for a PlayStation 2 so you could really get the gift of Potter.
Yeah, really.
PlayStation's cool too, though.
Yeah.
Did you play Harry Potter on PlayStation and get to cast Flipendo all over the place? Because I know I did, and I loved that game. Flipendo. Like, what does that spell? Like, you literally use it for everything in the
I don't remember.
in the video game.
Did you flip?
Playing your
No, and you
video
just like
games.
destroyed stuff, but then you also put stuff together, and then you like moved things. It was literally everything. Flipendo.
All right.
Flipendo.
Makes
Flipendo.
sense. Makes sense.
Make sure you join our group on Facebook to use for discussion on each episode.
Terrible segues.
We love chatting with everybody on there, and that Facebook group gives me life, basically.
Yep.
Also, like our page, see all the latest info. We are Swish and Flick Podcast on Facebook, or Swish Flickcast on Twitter and Instagram.
We are.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You can also join us on Patreon for lots of exclusive content and other surprises. Our Boat Truckle and higher patrons get access to the Felix Files.
Something you don't want to miss.
We bring you a special Patreon-only podcast every other week. Also, our Phoenix level patrons get to join us for a monthly Google Hangout, and they get to be a guest on the Felix Files. So if any of that sounds fun or interesting, make sure
It
that
does.
you head over to patreon.com/swishflickcast and choose your support level. It helps us to be able to afford equipment to make us better and monthly fees to keep the podcast going.
And going and going.
Forever and ever.
Forever. Such a good movie.
All right, guys. That concludes this week's very silly, giggle-ridden episode. So thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Down.
Always.
Amazing. Just like my voice.
We are
You know-
recording.
Are we ready
Good.
for our pumped up kicks? Are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your
say
seat?
that every single
I know,
time
because
you
it's
close
like
your
Are you
I-
ready for it?
you think that I have new tricks, but I don't. Tiffany, I'm looking at you.
Oh, it's live. Doing it live. We're doing it live.
So yes, oh yes, oh both, oh yes, they both, oh yes, they both reach for the gun, the gun, the gun, the gun. Oh yes, they both reach for the gun, for the gun.
Do we want to sing to any other songs? Do you know what song I also love from that? The Cell Block Tango.
Give it to me.